Alright, Blitzstorm here. So here's the texture maker. I've went over this a couple times in some videos. We're designing some textures, cement or uh, pavement, a few other things, rock textures. So here's this more in-depth kind of explanation of texture maker here, as well as some other tools that they have. So let's go ahead and open a couple new things here. So some videos I don't really show me making the textures. It is kind of, I just have a few saved up, I guess, is why I don't really show a few. So I'm going to just open up quite a bit of these just to go over what you can all do in here. So mainly when you first start, you want to start with your paint, whatever color you want to do. So you go to your brush or you go to your paint. So if you're doing like a kind of a brick that you want it a bit red, so then you'd pick whatever color you want, which will appear up here. So if you want like a darker red, that's a bit pink. So something like that. And then you normally pick a couple colors, like if you're painting a canvas. So you might have a bit lighter also. So then you're going to have your third one where you're going to use to kind of mix, just like if you're painting. So say you're doing, they do have the generator here, so say you're doing like bricks. So here's your brick. It'll lay down. Everything in here is going to, anything black is going to be kind of in depth. So then what you're normally going to do is you're going to drag using the quick mixer. So 50 is a bit, when you got something white, it's not going to show up as much, so you might need to do it 50-50. So you don't need to actually add this one yet. I'm just going to do it to add a bit more darker, 25. Then what you got is you have your plugins. Let's see, no, it would be your noise here. So bricks, they're going to have kind of a rough edge to them. So let's see. Not erosion yet. Let's do kind of tears. Let's add some tears to this. I can't really zoom in at the moment, but as you can see, it's starting to get some tears, but it's still flat. Doesn't really have that gravel ruggedness to it. Let's see, add some variate to it, so it's going to give it a bit more darker. You can not going to add scratches to it. Let's see, spots. No, we're not going to add some spots to it yet. If you ever screw up, you can just go undo right here, last operation, on whichever window that you're actually using. Let's see, if you want to make it darker or lighter, the randomizer will give it a random shade, I guess you can call it. Let's try pixel. Okay, yeah, let's go with pixels. So that's going to give it kind of this, kind of the rugged, but it's still, it doesn't look good. The black's kind of out still. So let's give it an erosion. So that's kind of like the rain and stuff, you know how they erode. So it's kind of giving it that. So now you kind of got the black a bit gone there. And basically what you're going to do is you're just going to keep adding stuff, keep smoothing stuff out. If it gets a bit like that, I can add a bit more red to it. That got rid of some erosion, kind of faded everything out but the color. You can also, another tool that I like to use is in the brush. It's called Retouch. So what this is going to do is, if you can look up at the image here, it'll retouch everything, kind of make everything more sharp, make everything pop. So it's going to make things pop out a bit more, so it's not as blurred. But yeah, so this is kind of what the tools are kind of getting at here. Let's go, actually, see if I can, I'll make this a bit better. Not gonna randomize, scratch, tears. Let's add a couple more tears in here. Variate. Don't want any scratches. It's not like metalled, so there's not going to be scratches. So I wouldn't use scratches for anything too much unless it's sort of like a metal pixelate. Nah. Don't know if I should do that again. It's about preference. You just need to keep messing with it. A road once more, gives it a bit too much dark. Yeah, let's just go once. But basically you're just messing around till you get the right, what you want. As that's too red. No. Now if you do like something like that where it's white and stuff, you could do it, but it's not something that I'm interested in. Actually, I don't think this randomize is going to work out too good. So this gives some minerals to it. So added some minerals. Now as you can see, the some squares are gonna no, it looks alright. Let's see, try Retouch again, see how that's gonna work out. So there you go, something like that. You can give it some minerals and whatnot. You can always shade it or make the depth pop out a bit more. Structure, I'm not gonna use that. Let's see, noise. But no, it's all about preference. But they do have, actually I'm gonna reuse this. They do have a lot of other stuff, like if you're doing like some of my anime textures, like the floors and stuff was actually done in here. You can actually do serious, more in-depth stuff in here, or you can do like more cartoony. There isn't really one side that you can, that it's is chosen in here. You can actually do pretty much anything. So so I went over it with the rocks. I'll repost how to make a rock one in this in this video too, just so that you guys know how to do rock textures. It can be used for cement. Same like the rock, you can kind of use that same grayish for cement. You can lighten it with the randomizer if you want lighter cement, darker cement, and you can save different shades. So what I like to do when I'm doing videos, textures, video game design textures, is I'll actually create a whole bunch of different cement textures at once. Like I'll create, like, instead of going back to Texture Maker, I'll spend an hour in one night and I'll design like 20 cement textures, 20 rock textures, 20 different other textures, whether it's grass, whether it's bark, wood, and I'll design and I'll make like a folder of textures being like here, let's go cement. So I'll make like, well, here's only 9 cement textures in this folder. I actually have a few folders. This was actually off a flash drive. I finished transferring these. So I'll do like tons of different things like rock textures, and sometimes some of them won't work. Like I can tell you this one here, it didn't work out. So some of them will work, some of them won't. It's just hit and miss sometimes. You can get different minerals if you're doing minerals, different shades. It's just hit and miss sometimes. Some of these won't work. Some of these work for rugged mountain terrains and stuff, bigger rocks. And then close this actually. Let's see what else. I was about to say something and kind of skipped my head here. Oh yeah, if you're doing like a seamless, you can do that in here too. They have tons of different ways. So if you get a line because you're doing faces on the model, I think I talked about that in my rock when I was doing the rock there. Basically, you've got different ones. The circle blend where it's gonna kind of circle the edges, but you gotta watch out. Sometimes it'll give a diamond like in the center here if it's not the right one, and what you do is you undo it, try a different one. But they do have a seamless. Like I said before, tons of different textures, whatever you're doing. Flagstone is one of my favorites here. I use this one in the anime, so if it's like a kind of a rocky brick path, larger, then it's something like that, or something, not that one. Let's see, there should be another one that I use. Oh, is it spots? No, it's not spots. Well, here, I'll actually show you the ones I used the most. Wood here, wood. I don't really use any of these ones too much. You can use this one maybe for like a force field bridge, like a shield bridge, or some kind of alien technology, like a halo bridge or something like that. Tiles is alright. Don't use that one too much. You could probably use this one for bark for a tree. So they don't have to be used for exactly what you want. This one is stone. This one works good for stones. But yeah, so they do have different. Like I said, use this one for a tree bark if you want. Just flip it, and then let's see, scales I don't use, scratches I don't use. But yeah, if you're doing something pixelated like pixel grass for a 2D game, here you go. Just add green. So if I was doing pixelated grass, paint, go green. Let's bring this down to, oops, not as light as I want. Actually, that'll be the dark. And then let's use this one for the light. So you can just 50, 25. And you got a little pixelated grass there for your level. But yeah, they have tons of different ones you can use. Cloning, I don't use that one too much. Carving, carving is actually really good if you're doing, say, nails in a board, and you textured it like the board, and then you just take the paintbrush, do it a bit smaller size, take the gray. Here, actually, I'll show you. So let's do paint, brush down. Let's go 10. Is this the right? Yeah, something like that. Let's go gray. So say you're doing like a nail and you just move it around this a little bit. I'm not sure why there'd be nail in the grass, but let's just go with it. You can use the Carve Tool and you see how it kind of gave it a bit more depth. And then what you can do is you can go to the Retouch. You can retouch it, and it'll slowly give it text. You can zoom in. If I can open this up a bit more, or go up. There we go, zoom in there. But you see how it's starting to give it the nail head, and then you just keep messing with it, keep giving it a little carve. But if you're doing a box and this was wood, it'll appear like a nail. Like here, one sec, I'll actually show you one of the textures that I did in the past. It would be in here, game objects. So crates. So these nail textures here and these boards, this is kind of what it would look like for nails. So if you're doing something like that and you want nails put on it. Now, how I did this one was I did one board and then I put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down. Just kept copying and pasting it. And then what I did was put those down and then that in between, shrank it down a bit, shrank it down a bit. And yeah, that's how I did that one. Gives it a little in depth if you have the black. So just all I did was move it a bit nice and close in. But yeah, that's what I was talking about with the nail. If you're doing something like a nail. But yeah, texture maker, it's all about just getting used to it. I don't really use the color and stuff. Those are just pretty much the main ones I use. There is other stuff if you're using the plugins, like if you're making the GUIs for like buttons and stuff, you can use these ones for the plugins. I don't know if they do have other plugins out there. I would imagine they do. I have never downloaded them. I should check it out later on, but I'll wait until I might do it tonight, who knows. Let's check what's out there. But yeah, I think those are the main ones that I use, to be honest. Bump, I haven't even checked out that. This actually might work better for the nail or whatnot, or maybe not. But yeah, just mess with it, get used to it. As I go through the tutorials, I'll try to do some textures in the tutorials and add them. But it just takes a bit to get used to. I'll add that rock texture on so you got an idea how to do rock textures. And thanks for watching. Hope you liked, subscribe, comment if you have any questions. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So go ahead and open, hit new. 256 by 256 is good. Yours should be set to that. It's going to be black. Let's just add a new one also. And add a new one also. So there's 3 new ones. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the paint, the brush here. Let's go to paint. Let's go down to a gray for the paintbrush here. So about right there is a gray. And we're going to just paint this there. And let's go to a darker color. What color would a rock be? Gotta think. So more of a gray there. It's a bit too reddish. Yeah, there we go. So we got a bit of a lighter, a bit of a darker, and then just a normal one, which we'll be using this one to blend in. So think of this as a canvas. You chose your colors that we're going to be blending. Gonna want something actually a bit darker there. So if you want like a browner rock, you can use 2 brown colors. If you wanted like a gold color, it all depends on what color of rock you want. You can go and you can look rocks up and choose what kind of colors you want your rock to be, whether it's marble or gravel, copper rocks. There's tons of different ones. I don't think I have any pictures of rocks that I've done in the past, but I do have textures still from those, which I will not be using at the moment. So let's go to, I think it's a generator. Let's do let's do stone. So we got a little kind of waves and stuff here, and we're actually going to go new right here. And I'm actually going to paint this one white. Brush. Actually, I don't think I need to paint it. I actually think I can just go down to noise, and yeah, I have to paint it. So if I go all the way up to, oh, well, I have to go to brush first, sorry. Paint. Go to white. I could just go to the eraser and erase it all, but so let's go white, this color. Noise. So here's what we're going to be using to make tears and stuff. Don't think you can see it. I'm going to zoom in, but it'll give these lines here. So you got tons of different lines. And the more you do it, the more lines you'll get. If you go to pixel, it'll add like tons of different, like kind of dark and pixelated scratches. We'll add scratches. We're not going to add that, so I did 2 tears, 2 pixels. Erosion will kind of crumple it up. So this is what we're actually going to be using to kind of mold everything. So let's just actually add this. Go 50%. Nah, let's add another 50% to it. Go ahead, add 50 gray of that color and 50 gray of that color. So let's do erosion, and now we'll add the depth around everything. So let's go and add some tears. Pixel it. 50. Basically what I'm doing is I'm going to be blending everything together. 25, 25. And how I'm blending is I'm just grabbing here, quick texture mixer, and I'm dragging it and I'm dropping it in. So erosion. So this is kind of what the rock texture looks like now. So something you always want to do is you always want to make it kind of seamless, so that when you throw it on, you don't get any lines or anything like that. So they do have some different seamless, but I'm going to not really a really big fan of this color. 50%. Actually, no, let's undo that. What you can also do is randomize here. Here's the randomize tool. So if you randomize it, it'll actually change the color for you. So this is actually kind of good, and it will actually throw in the random color. It'll make it either darker or lighter. So here's a bit more of a darker color. So you can actually like save this here, this color, if you want, by just going up. I have this window selected now. So if I go up to here and hit save as, I can actually save this color to the folder that I have my rock in. So let's go rock texture 1, and save. So if you want, you can actually make different ones. If you don't like that light, how it went lighter, you can go darker, but then you get those white lines there, and that's not a good thing. So I'm gonna undo that, undo that, undo that. Let's throw this in 25%. Corrosion. No. Let's do tears. Lots of tears. Lots of tears. Randomize. Too light. Too dark. 50. Right there. Let's save this. Save as. So now that we have that done, let's save this as rock texture 2. We're actually going to just close this, not going to save any of these 3. Let's go to our crazy bump. Let's open it and open from photo, and let's go out of this into the rock and select this one for now. Let's go here. So this is this sphere, the ball. You can actually make this however you want it, how much bump, how much it's going to pop at the lines. So this is kind of what the rock's going to look like now. So the more intense, it's going to bring out the more of the shading. But the thing is with Unity is you can actually change the intensity. So if you have it really down, you can bring it out a bit more than what it is. But let's go about 35. Sharpen is always pretty good. It adds more of the grooves. Noise, I don't think I want noise. No. Fine detailing is always good to have, for me anyways. Large detail, no. So something like this. So let's go ahead and save this to the save norms to file. Let's go and save this as rock texture 1 bump. And there we go. And I'm going to close this down.